Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to dive into my recruiting strategy for this season. And one thing I've always wanted to do in recruiting in this game is kind of get into an in-depth, long-term plan for recruiting. So I'm going to share with you the recruiting strategy chart I made. I'll put up a picture here now. And as you look at it, it just has some of the key information that I think I need as I recruit for this slow burn dynasty. I got our playbook, spread. That kind of just helps me understand what positions I need. More wide receivers than running backs maybe. I think technically it doesn't even need a fullback, but I like to have at least one fullback, if not two, on the squad. They can double as a tight end, sometimes a running back as well. So I like to have fullbacks in there. Then my defensive playbook is a 4-2-5, but I've added every defensive formation in there. So I've got a lot of variety in there, and maybe we'll pare it down as we go. Next, you can see I kind of outlined our offensive needs, defensive needs, and just some of the weaknesses of our team. Because sometimes, the needs don't reflect what you actually need. You may have, two very good young offensive guards, but it says you need, two more, where we can kind of gloss over that or skip that for a season because we have those two young guys. And then at the same time, it may say we don't need wide receivers, but we've got, two senior wide receivers. They're going to graduate, and, our freshman wide receivers are in the 50s. Well, I'd like to get a little bit better wide receiver heading into the next season if I can. So that's kind of how I prioritize what I'm going after in the season. Obviously, we want to get the best available while meeting our needs. Then next, you'll see on the chart, I've just kind of broken down our roster into seniors, juniors, sophomores, and freshmen. I just like to know what I have of each. This helps me, again, look forward and plan better for my recruiting. And mind you, this is the first time I've actually created a chart. I've tried to do this, just kind of going through as I play the game, but it's very difficult to kind of keep track of everything. So I'm really excited to use this chart. I hope you enjoy it as well, and maybe incorporate it into your dynasties as you play. You can see we've got a lot of redshirt freshmen that I think are going to end up being, decent players as they hit junior and senior year. Then I've kind of put the projected 2018 returners. Some guys may transfer. We'll see how the recruiting class affects that. And then kind of my broad vision for recruiting position priority over the next 4 years, and try to just keep it balanced so I'm not scrambling for a lot of positions, heading forward. And that may change as we go and guys transfer and things like that. But this is kind of the plan I had heading into the season after looking at our roster. All right, now that we've kind of went over the recruiting strategy chart, I'll put a link to it in the show notes below as well, so you can maybe download it and follow along. But I'll be using it as we go through this recruiting session here. I went through, I added everybody from New Mexico. Dominique Pennington was the best player available, and he's a 3-star. But we are in the lead on him, which is good to see. Hopefully we can sign him quick and use his points elsewhere. So I'm just going to go position by position here. A lot of these guys, again, are 65 or lower unless they were already interested in us. We are allowed to get 1 3-star junior college transfer. I'm not sure if I have one on the board. We'll kind of go through and check and find that out. But I've got 2 quarterbacks on here. Again, these guys aren't going to be scouted very much. Marcus Neal, on first glance, not very good throw power or accuracy. So Marcus Neal, not scouted very much. You can see he has decent stamina, but nothing else we really know that applies to the position. And quarterback is one of those positions I think it says we don't need. Let's check. I don't remember. It says we're good. We're going to have 3 on. But if you look at our depth chart, And I will put a link to this depth chart as well so you can follow along as we go. But you look at our depth chart, we're losing, Wheatley this year, or after this year. Nate Wilson will be back. Andy Smith will be back. And then we've got Thad Crowder. So we got 3 on. Nate is going to be a mobile quarterback that we want to be able to use. But Andy Smith and Thad Crowder are not mobile quarterbacks. So that's what I'm on the lookout for here. I'm just kind of hoping CJ Waters, the speed goes up a little bit. I don't need him to be super fast, just, mid 60s, 70, something like that. And Marcus Neal looks like he will be a scrambler. And Walters is balanced. Moving on to running back, not a huge need for us. We've got 2 really good, 3 coming back next year, because we've got Terry Lewis, who's a junior, who's redshirted this year, so he'll have 2 more seasons left. And then we've got Jay Dukes and DeMarcus Kroll, as well as Brett Vincent, who are freshman, sophomore, respectively. So I think we're going to be good on running back for a while, but it never hurts to kind of see, what Daniel Washington turns into. Daryl Jenkins looks like a decent junior college guy. Can maybe be a returner for us. So I added these guys on the board and putting some into Daniel. Again, just because if he turns out to be decent, it's not bad to have him on the board. Fullback, I'm not going after everybody or anybody. Next year we'll have a sophomore and a freshman. Wide receiver is a need for us. Numbers wise, I think if you look at talent wise, we've got, Alex Sanders coming back, Joe Blount, Brandon Guillory, and Josh Cobbs. There'll be, 1 senior and 3 juniors coming back, as well as we have, Brian Rice, who's redshirted. So we've got some decent talent coming back. I'm going to try to add, Leon Gore, who, again, hopefully we can run away with Leon. Leon looks like a decent speed guy. He's got the speed and the acceleration, which I look for. Sometimes the speed is up and the acceleration is down. Just not a super huge fan of that. But there's probably moments where we do need that. I know Guillory is kind of that guy where he's got high speed but low acceleration. So I'd like him to be more balanced. Probably a guy who gets redshirted and develops as we go. Okay, so Sean Bradshaw is our 3-star junior college player out of Missouri. Okay, so we're getting ahead on him, which is really good. Again, hopefully we can sign a lot of these guys early and have points left over, so when we hit week 8, we can add those guys from outside of our region and bring some of those guys in quick. His catching is decent, and his route running is really good. Good release. So somebody hopefully we can input right away. Marcus Gray, another junior college player out of Kansas. He's a speed guy. Speed and acceleration are going to be about equal, which is, again, that's a lot of what I look for. And then his catching is not very good. So as a junior college player, I'm not sure if he's somebody we're going to continue to go after. We're losing ground on him right now, so he may be removed later on. But somebody I just thought I'd throw on the board and see if we could have him stick around with his speed. Maybe add, maybe a depth guy. Dwayne Smith, another junior college 1-star, gaining some ground on him. And again, another speed guy, good acceleration, good speed. Spectacular catches is average, and the rest of his catching or receiving skills are not great. So we'll see if we continue to go after him. Another junior college guy, I thought we could just add some depth right away. Get some higher ranked guys on the field and let hopefully maybe a guy like Leon Gore develop as they play. All right, Ben Dixon, a 1-star receiver out of California. Getting some ground on him, although it looks like Washington and San Diego are also moving up the board fast here, so we'll see how long he stays on our board. Catching not great, catching traffic not great. At 47 looks like it's well earned. Speed is decent, no acceleration. Antoine Payne, a tight end. Again, we got a good freshman tight end in Mike Wells, and two redshirt freshman guys kind of behind him. So tight end's not a huge need, but I never think it hurts to try to add a decent tight end here. But Antoine Payne, losing ground. He might come off the board soon. Rob Mitchell, we're gaining. Decent speed for a tight end. Acceleration's not up there. Receiving and blocking, as you expect for a 56 overall, but his impact blocking looks decent. We'll see. He is a balanced tight end, which looks to be true. So hopefully, something can increase here in some of his scouting, but we'll keep him on the board, it looks like, as long as we're getting ground. And Antoine Payne might come off the board. All right, offensive line-wise, we got Eric Jacques. He looked like a great player. I had him on the board. I had 500 points into him, and with those 500 points in, we were still going down 135. I decided to cut my losses there. Maybe we can, unlock and get back in later on. William Weber is kind of the same deal. I had 500 points into him. We were still losing by 220. So both those guys, I was excited to maybe get them. They were interested in us, but we just couldn't put enough points into them to keep them or to stay in the race with them. And Andrew Marshall heading down by 550. So not looking good tackle-wise. We'll see, what we can get come, week 8. But none of these tackles look like they're going to stay on the board. But again, we'll see. Maybe, sometimes the other teams end up signing a guy and kick one of these guys off the board, and then we can jump up later on in the season. Or if we get locked out, we can always unlock and get back in, and maybe we'll have more points by that time. But not looking good right now. All right, guard-wise, we got Michael Sisk. I believe when I was going through it, we were down 470 without putting any points into him. You can see he does not have a scholarship yet. We'll try to gain some ground and offer a scholarship maybe next week or the week after. But excited to get Michael Sisk if his rating kind of holds up here. Decent blocking all around. As a guard, D-speed, not a deal breaker. Acceleration looks decent. As they pull and things like that, it helps. But we don't do a lot of pulling. Next is Zach Patton. Out of Texas. I think we're losing ground on this guy fast. 535 again. Somebody who's probably not going to stay on the board long. Come week 8, we may be adding some other guys. Maybe in week 3 if we can find some guys who are still interested. But right now, not looking good for Zach Payton. Hunter Wilcox, I believe we're going down 120 without any points added onto him. So I decided to invest in him because, again, those tackles were not doing anything. You can see he doesn't have a scholarship offer yet, but again, hopefully next week we can get that taken care of and move up the board on Hunter. Troy Sykes, a 1-star junior college player, 68. I'm hoping that goes up. And most of my offensive linemen, I look at their bench press and their squat, making sure that it's high enough to maintain the rating they have, if not go up. So Troy Sykes looks like he could be a solid player. I don't like that it doesn't tell me if he's a sophomore or junior college. Obviously, I can go find out, but it'd be nice to know from this page. But I'm going to assume he's junior, gaining ground on him with 400 and no scholarship. Again, decent acceleration, looks really good. Maybe his speed goes up a little bit. Good strength. Could help us out right away. John Wiley, kid out of New Mexico. So we add him to the board. I don't believe he was interested, but he is now. And we're going up 160 on him. So that's good to see. Decent blocking. Run blocking looks a little low, but maybe that can jump up here. That strength being a D is a little concerning. But we won't really know how good John Wiley is unless we sign him. All right, Bernard Greer, 2-star JUCO player out of Texas, 74 overall right now. I'm hoping that goes up based on his bench and squat numbers, I don't know what they are off the bat. But I don't think I would have added him to the board unless they were decent numbers. So we're really jumping ahead on him. Hopefully that can maintain and we can sign him quick. He would be a huge get for us. All right, defensive end, we got Jonathan Francis out of Colorado, 2-star guy. Defensive end isn't a huge need for us, so hopefully, Jonathan can improve a little bit here and jump into maybe a 61, 62 overall. Even 60 would be decent. He could be somebody that could develop behind the guys we have now. At D tackle, we got Glenn Swain, which, as I think about it now, I think we have a D tackle, Craig Swain, who's a sophomore. So maybe a brother combo here. We'll see. But 63 overall, decent. Only got 100 points going into him. I think I changed that. I think everybody was gaining ground on us with no points. So I put 100 into him so that we'd be gaining, 40 over those guys who are jumping ahead at the bottom. He's got a scholarship on him. Hopefully somebody we can gain ground with and sign soon. You can see some of his skills here. Power moves decent. Tackling is decent. Everything else is kind of below average. Pursuit looks good. But again, 63 overall. We'll take that for sure. All right, outside linebackers. Middle linebacker is a need for us. I think outside linebackers can shift into the middle pretty easily. Easy to move these guys into the middle, or vice versa, middle guys into the outside. But here's Dominique Pennington, again, the best player in New Mexico. Trying to recruit New Mexico well. That's a big goal of mine. We're jumping way ahead on him. Again, hopefully somebody we can sign quick. Brandon Douglas, 3-star out of Missouri. Looks like we're losing ground fast here on him. Down 600. He's probably somebody who'll come off the board. But again, maybe somebody we get locked out and unlock and get back in. We'll see. Looks like decent skills here. Good speed, good acceleration. Defensively, I want to be a fast team. So, if guys are fast, but their tackling skills or block shedding isn't up there, I'll take the speed for sure. Brandon Burley, out of Oklahoma. I like his size, 6'5", 227. Possibly somebody that could, jump to a D end with that size and that height, maybe put on a few pounds. We're in the lead on him, which is good. Hopefully later on we can start pumping more points into him, and maybe we'll adjust. Maybe we'll take some from, Dominique up here and put him down here. But for now, it's going to stay like this. We're gaining, 10 points on the next best. Skill-wise, Brandon looks really good. Acceleration's at 88. Play rec is 69. That we know for sure. His speed is a B. Tackling is C. Hip power C. That's what we're looking for. Even coverage-wise, man coverage, zone coverage, press, all decent. Could jump back to strong safety with those coverage skills and that speed, but we'll see. And after looking at that, I want to take 100 off Dominique. I want to give it to Brandon. I don't want to lose this guy. Next, we have Lee Johnson out of Hawaii. Another guy, 6'5". It says we're losing ground, but I'm pretty sure I put more points into him so that we would not be. I think losing 115 is with no points on him. And so we got more points on him. Could get him a scholarship here. Again, looks like good speed, good acceleration, good tackle, good play rec, and good coverage skills. So again, somebody I want to continue to get more points into. Hopefully Dominique signs fast, and we can go after these two guys a little bit harder. Austin Taylor, 6'4", 221. Again, another tall guy here. These three. 6'5", what's Brandon at 6 feet? Dominique 6'2". These guys got size. Again, maybe Austin could be a guy we move to D end as well. Although looking at it, we're losing 605. Austin's probably going to come off the board soon. But again, we'll see. I want to stick to the guys we have on the board. Some of these guys that are dropping fast, like Austin Taylor, I may drop him next week and see if I can replace him with somebody who is interested, or somebody again within the region here that makes more sense point wise. But we'll wait till after, week 3 where we kind of know where guys stand a little bit more. And we'll search our region a little bit more. Middle linebacker is a need, but based on who was interested and what was around, I decided to go with the outside linebackers and maybe move some of them into the middle. So no middle linebacker recruits right now. Could change after week 3 and week 8, but right now, nothing. Cornerback, I'm always looking to add corners. Kennard Carey here out of Oklahoma. In Oklahoma, looks like we might be losing that as a pipeline. That's one I want to try to keep. So I got a few guys here from Oklahoma. Again, within that region, I want to recruit strong. Because that's the first 8 weeks of recruiting is those guys. And so we've got to have those states as pipelines. Looks like we're gaining well on Kennard. 95. Should close that gap within a few weeks here. And hopefully we can continue to pump more points in. Although it looks like SMU is going up too, but they don't have a scholarship on them. So we'll see how this plays out. Hopefully we can get more points on him soon. Next, Joe Vincent out of Nevada. Gaining 60 on him with no points. I like to see that. Speed and acceleration is good. Obviously, cornerback, we need that. Man coverage and zone coverage, a C, which is really good. His agility is a B. Tackling, hip power, I'm not too concerned with cornerbacks. I just want their speed and coverage. It's kind of the main thing I'm looking for. So Darryl looks like a good fit, and we are gaining 60 without adding anything, so that's good. All right, next are free safeties. We got free safety and strong safety as a need. But if I recall, no strong safeties interested or that I could kind of find. So I really just went after free safeties and shift one of those guys over. But Anthony Cook out of New Mexico, again, want to lock down New Mexico here. Gaining 340 on him. Again, so hopefully we can run away with it soon, sign him quick, and allocate those 500 points somewhere else. Nick Mark out of Oklahoma, again, trying to get Oklahoma as a pipeline, or keep it as a pipeline, because it looks like we might lose it. Losing 105, but I think that was before. I think I added 125 onto him. I think he was at 50. So, again, no scholarship, though, but I think we should start gaining ground on Tulsa here with Nick. Next, Roddy Moore out of Texas. Looks like we might start dropping here to Rice. We got a scholarship on him, so we'll kind of see how that plays out. Decent zone coverage. Hopefully his tackling improves. His pursuit's good. Speed-wise, he's decent. Rocky Nelson, the guy who was interested in us, coming from Illinois. 58 overall, dropping 615. Again, probably a guy who's going to come off the board relatively quick. Keith Newsom, another guy out of New Mexico. Not looking like the best, but we're gaining ground on him. As I fly through this, gaining ground on him. Hopefully he can jump up to, a 58, something like that. Hip power is decent, which I don't really care about as a free safety. If that was tackle, that'd be great. So we'll see if he stays on the board. The one athlete I was able to find out of Oklahoma, again, trying to get Oklahoma back or not lose it as a pipeline state, was William Washington. We're in the lead. I think we're going up. We're going up quite a bit. So again, hopefully another guy we can lock down quick and use those 500 points somewhere else. Skill-wise, again, not scouted, but good speed and acceleration, agility. Let's see, he can tackle, he can cover, he can catch. Okay, so might be a defensive back, wide receiver kind of guy. But we'll take that speed. We'll plug him in where we need him. All right, so that's it for the recruiting special here. Hopefully you enjoyed the recruiting strategy chart I made. You used the depth chart, followed along with me. Again, 2 things that I think just help me recruit a little bit more realistically, fill some gaps that we have, understand where our talent is, where we need to get more talent, rather than just numbers. So with recruiting done for the week, we're going to jump over to our game plan. All right, first part of the game plan is kind of scouting the coaches. As we look at Arizona, our opponent this week, we've got Phil Longo as the head coach. His coaching skills, so things that are really going to help his team here. Kind of got some game management. Nothing that's going to help them perform better, it looks like. So timeouts won't fire him up. There's no great start because of a rivalry. So that plays in our favor. Defensive coordinator, looks like they get some boost for some of the D-line stuff and stamina, and then zone coverage looks like it's going to jump up too. Offensively, the quarterback is going to have better accuracy and an arm. So they got quite a few skill position upgrades there. And then pass blocking is going to improve by 1. So we'll look at the players and kind of see what they'll jump up to with those bonuses. But that's a look at their coaches quick. Next to the game plan, I just want to look at what kind of offense are they running. So it looks like it's going to be an air raid, although it looks like they're going to run slightly more than they pass. So fairly balanced there. Not going to be super aggressive. Actually pretty conservative. And then they're not going to do a no huddle. Defensively, we're going to have a 3-4 defense. They're going to defend the run and the pass almost equally. Although it looks like they're going to be aggressive. So probably more blitzes. So we have to be ready for that. But if that gets us a one-on-one matchup, I'd be excited to take advantage of that. All right, next with our scouting report, I want to look at some of their key offensive players, key defensive players, maybe some of their weaknesses, maybe look at some things that we can take advantage of, or some things that we may win some battles easily. So let's dive into just their roster. I want to look at key offensive players. Again, we're playing Arizona. And right off the bat, you can see very heavily offensive team led by Rhett Hall and Nick Perez. I just want to look at some of their key offensive players. Let's start with Rhett Hall at wide receiver. Senior, good speed, good acceleration. As we dive into him more here. Decent agility. Awareness is a little bit low, although I don't know how much that affects some of the things in the game. I haven't really figured that out yet. Catching is good, route running good, catching traffic decent, spectacular catch is decent. He can jump. His release is a little bit low, although I don't know we have a corner that can take advantage of that. Next, let's look at Nick Perez. As a runner, tremendous. We saw their playbook was air raid, but it's geared towards a run. I'm guessing he's going to pull it down multiple times and try to scramble to pick up yards. His awareness is decent. Throw power is up there, but his throw accuracy is the thing that stands out to me. Hopefully we can somehow take advantage of that with whether it's tight man coverage or being disciplined in our zone coverage. He may even break some tackles. He's elusive, so we really got to watch out for his running ability. Next, Paul Moore, another wide receiver here. Decent speed, good acceleration. Again, awareness is low. I don't know how much that plays into in-game stuff, if we can take advantage of that or not. Catching is decent, but in route running is tremendous. Catching traffic, spectacular catches up there. He can jump and he can release well. So jamming him, maybe not the best idea. And then he may win some jump balls on us, but really got to keep an eye out for him. So 2 solid receivers right off the bat here. Hopefully our top 2 corners can hold them, to a little bit lower stat sheet than normal, but we'll see. Jason Robertson, another solid wide receiver here, but we're going to go to Cody Pittman next. Speed, not super high for a guard, although I don't know how much pulling they're doing. Acceleration is good. His awareness is a little bit low, I think, so I don't know if we can take advantage of maybe some blitzes to his side and things like that. We'll have to check out maybe some of the other linemen, but pass blocking, 84 is decent. 95 run block, impact block is up there, so he's going to get some pancakes. They're going to run to his side. We got to be aware of that and ready. He's strong. He's got a good stamina, so he's not going to tire out or anything like that. So let's look at the top 4 offensive guys. You can see they got another wide receiver up there, Stephen Rooney. We're going to jump to defense here. Craig Gonzalez at middle linebacker. Decent speed, great acceleration. Awareness is a little bit low, so I don't know if that's a play action thing that we could take advantage of, or some read option type stuff we can fool him. Tackle is low, I think, for a middle linebacker, but his play rec, his block shedding, his pursuit is all tremendous, and then zone coverage is up there too. So maybe somebody we can run at, but again, his block shedding is up there. His pursuit is up there. Hip power is 91, so we got to watch out for that. Next, defensively, we're going to look at Brandon Williams, their right end. Again, decent overall. Speed is decent. Acceleration is decent for a D lineman. Again, awareness is low, so I don't know. It seems to me that would be like a read option type thing or some play action stuff that we could get him on. But he's decently strong. He can tackle well. His finesse moves are up there, and his block shedding is good enough, I think, to create some havoc. Tackle, his pursuit is good. Hip power is decent. But again, they're best defensive linemen. Maybe some play action, maybe some read option towards his side. Well, maybe have to check out the left end as well and see what he brings. Next, defensively, we've got Walter Murray, right outside linebacker. Good speed, great acceleration. Somebody's going to fly around, but again, his awareness is low. So again, all 3 of these guys, and I think that kind of is the norm on defense where their awareness is low. But 56, maybe that's, again, play action. It's not like a broken record, but play action and some read option type stuff. His tackling is good. Play rec is good. I don't know if that makes up for his awareness as far as play action goes. But he can decent at shedding blocks and pursuit. Coverage-wise, he's pretty good. So we have to just be aware of running backs on him. Hopefully Jay Duke or Kroll can take advantage of that. Next, defensively, we got Jamal Ewing. It says he's injured. I don't know what that injury is. We'll have to wait till we get in the game and figure that out. But looks like their next corner is equally good. But he's got good speed, decent acceleration, and agility to cover. His awareness is up there, although I don't know if that's low for defense or not. But his man coverage, his zone coverage is really good if he can press. And I don't know if we have a receiver that can beat that number when it comes to pressing and their ability to release. He can catch decently for a D-back, even for a wide out. So throwing his way might be a little bit risky. His play rec is great. He can pursue. Tackle's good enough. He can jump. So we have to be aware of where we throw the ball and when. And then Russ Fry right behind him. Take a look at him because Ewing might be injured. Not as fast, but his agility is a little bit better. Decent enough to cover some of our guys, I think. Man coverage, zone coverage is up there. Press is up there. He can catch. Play rec is a little bit low, but maybe decent enough against our guys. And his pursuit. So they got solid corners. Something we have to be aware of when we throw, and then their linebackers are good in man and zone as well. So got a tough challenge here, offensively and defensively. Obviously, they're going to be ranked a little bit better than us, but if we can stay disciplined and execute, hopefully we can come away with a W here. All right, next, game plan-wise, I want to look at some of our opponents' weak spots, see if they have anything we can take advantage of. As again, we look through their depth chart here. We talked about their quarterback. Running back looks decently fast. Acceleration's not up there. Awareness is low. The guy that spells him is a little bit quicker. I don't know if we'll see the third guy or not. But decent enough. Fullback probably won't be on the field. Again, there's their stable of wide receivers, just stacked, but they're all seniors. So that's something to keep in mind for next year. And then their tight end gets up there as well. 2 decent tight ends for them, although I'm just going to see how well they block. See if that's something we can maybe attack. Maybe Sanchez's side more than Brown. So So left tackle is solid. Left guard. Center. Right guard. So I'll go. Here we go. Right tackle. 74. Let's see. Let's see who our left end is. And I'll have a sheet filled out here that I'll maybe put up on the screen here, but just a scouting report screen kind of going through everything I'm going through. So you can kind of follow along, and I'll make a PDF and get a link to it as well so you guys can follow along. But their right tackle will be matched up with our left end. So Victor Drew, that might be something we could take advantage of. A 74 versus an 80. So that'd be the first opponent weak spot I'd look to take advantage of. Maybe sending some blitzes to the right side other than their left. But let's keep looking through their depth chart here, seeing what else we can find. Although that's exciting to find that little weakness there. And again, these are things I always wanted to do, and I kind of do. But now that I'm putting it on YouTube, it's a little bit more exciting to kind of dive in, have people to share it with, and things like that. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it. All right, so right tackle 74, left end, right end. So D-line looks like they are decent. There we go. Left outside, because you know the linebackers. The other two linebackers are good in the corners. Free safety maybe there. Strong safety decent. Yeah, okay, so let's jump back to left outside linebacker. Just take a look at him, see if we can take advantage of anything. Again, awareness is down. Tackling's decent. Block shed. He's a cover guy. So maybe we'll target their left side as we run, and hopefully the middle linebacker doesn't scrape over or anything like that. But so the plan would be, I think now as I'm thinking about it, is to run to their left. This guy is one of their worst defenders. Might as well try to go after him, even if he is, slightly better than our guys. He's their weakest spot, so we'll try to attack that. And then let's jump to their free safety. At 72. Not exactly sure how to take advantage of this, but he's not super fast. Awareness is low. So I don't know if we try to get him, matched up on a wide receiver. Let's see what his coverage is. Man, it's low for a DB. Play rec is down. So maybe we can get him on a play action. Something like that. So I think play action is on the table. Just depends on if we can run the ball well enough to get that going. But we'll see if we can find their free safety, James Hodges, here in some matchups and take advantage of it. Although he can catch. So we got to be smart. Press isn't. Maybe we can beat him on a press. But I think if our top guy is a 76 this week, maybe something we could take advantage of. And I think all of our wideouts are ranked higher than 72, and we'll just have to see if it matches up here. All right, let's look at their kicker and just kind of see. He's got decent power, so a little accuracy. It's not, and then their punter is gonna be decent. I'm not too concerned about the punting game or kicking for that matter, but nice to know that he's got a decent leg, but his accuracy is a little bit down. And then kick returner, punt returner, I don't really care about. I don't think there's enough to dive into this where kick return and punt returns are returned that much, but they have some decent guys here with Thomas and Hall. Other wide receivers are here, so something to maybe keep in our mind, but not that. Long snapper is Pittman, of course. Always got to check out the long snapper. All right, last thing I want to do is just kind of check out the injury report. I think we're clean. Yep. I just want to see what Arizona has and what their cornerback is. So he's out 2 weeks. But after looking at their cornerback depth chart, I don't think it's going to be that big of a loss. I think all the other guys can fill in here. Let's just double check, though. Yeah, so Fry and Gray will step in. Morgan's, these guys are all solid enough. Where they're not going to miss Ewing that much, I don't think. All right, so after looking everything over, Game plan, I think, play action is definitely on the table. If awareness plays into that, I'm not sure. Play recognition was low for the free safety, so he could maybe bite on that. I don't think we have the advantage running wise or passing wise, which that doesn't really matter. We have to be able to do both. I think we'll probably get into some six-man protection, whether that's keep a tight end in or a running back. I just think their D line or their front seven is better than our front five. So we may have to keep an extra guy in. And then defensively, I think the way to go, man coverage is going to be tough. So I think we'll probably do a lot of zone. And if we blitz, it's going to be out of zone. But we'll blitz their right side towards their right tackle, who is a weakness. And then defensively, again, run advantage. I don't think we have our pass advantage, but we got to be able to play smart, play disciplined. And as a user, I've got to kind of stay in my zone, pick when to rush the quarterback on the defensive line and things like that. So, yeah, on paper, looks like Arizona's going to come away with it, but that's why we play the game. So, thanks for watching this recruiting and game plan episode, guys. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to playing Arizona and see how we do and see if we can be 1-0 in the Arizona season here. Thanks for watching, guys.